I was invited on an epic adventure with 11-time Baja 1000 winner Johnny Campbell and the Honda team. We rode the brand new 2024 Africa Twin and Transalps down the Pacific coast from Washington to California, battled crazy weather, and explored some incredible hidden gems. We met the whole group in Seattle. I was very excited to get to see Patrick from the Chase on Two Wheels channel, Ben, aka Dork on the Road, and I got to meet Victor, the founder of the Moto Social, for the first time. Brad from Eagle Rider was our support truck and did an excellent job of managing our route. Johnny Campbell was our leader, and Lou was our devoted sweep.
Hey, I'm Johnny Campbell, 11-time winner of the Baja 1000, owner-operator of Johnny Campbell Racing Incorporated.
We also got to ride with some of the incredible engineers who are responsible for bringing these new models to life, and it was an amazing opportunity to get to ask questions about the different modifications of the new bikes. We all added our bits and pieces to the bikes we had chosen for the day, and I mounted my Peak Design motorcycle bar mount. Before we knew it, it was time to go.
Hey, we're here up in Lakewood, Washington, getting ready to go on the Honda True Adventure Tour. We're kicking it off. We got some rainy weather to start with. You know, it's the essence of a true tour.
Have a good time.
Thank you.
No problem.
We set off in the rain, headed for Sisters, Oregon. I was extremely grateful I had the foresight to bring my Revit H2O rain suit and my heated gloves. These, in conjunction with the heat grips on the Africa Twin Adventure Sports, kept me relatively comfortable. Certainly more comfortable than some of the others in our group that were less prepared for the rain. For the whole morning and afternoon, we were treated to a mixture of a light mist that fogged our lenses and face shields, then a deluge that tested the water resistance of every piece of gear. Despite the rain, though, the beauty of the Pacific Northwest and the mist surrounded us. I've lived in this part of the country for almost 10 years now, and the Cascade Mountains, shrouded in clouds, never fails to strike me as straight out of a fairy tale. After a couple of hours on the road, we took a short break at a lovely coffee shop to get feeling in our fingers again. We mingled and tried to get used to our companions that we would be spending the next 4 days with. I'm still disappointed that I don't have a clip of it, but Johnny was going about and asking everybody what our riding experience was, and when he got to me, I didn't quite know what he wanted to know, so I spout out that I had done ADV training with 4 different trainers, and I had ridden across the country and back solo 3 times. He looked at me and just said, "Impressive." It might sound funny, but I still think about that when my anxiety starts to make me think I'm not capable of something. Frickin' Johnny Campbell said that I was impressive. It's a pretty good feeling.
How's the trip going so far?
So good.
Nice little drive.
I'm nice and toasty.
Yeah, perfect.
We made a pit stop outside of Portland, Oregon for lunch and made the discovery that there was a snow warning for the pass we were meant to ride outside of Sisters the next day. So we all agreed it would be a better idea to reroute directly to Eugene that night. Due to our change of plans, we had an unplanned extra day in Eugene. So Ben and our leaders came up with a little detour for us on day 2.
So now we're going to do a loop about 150 miles out into the west side over by St. Mary's Peak, We'll get a little dirt, we'll have a little fun, come back, enjoy it.
You started rolling, I'm like, oh, getting the shot, Amanda.
Gotta document the fact that it's raining. We got a small opportunity to ride a couple of dirt roads, and it was pretty slick thanks to the rain and the subsequent mud. We were riding 80/20 touring tires, so there was a handful of moments I felt a little more wiggly than I'm used to, but it was a ton of fun, and what a great opportunity. Day 3, we left bright and early from Eugene towards Coos Bay, back on track. I was excited to return to one of my favorite parts of the Oregon coast. This adventure isn't meant to be a deep bike review, but using these bikes in context of a larger trip and getting to experience them in real-world conditions says so much more than any list of specs ever could. But for the sake of comparison, I do want to do a quick overview of some of the differences between the 2024 Africa Twin line versus the 2022 model that I've been riding for the last 3 years. So, for those who are unfamiliar, there are two main models of Africa Twin, the Standard and the Adventure Sports. Both of these models also have the DCT, or a dual clutch transmission version. I have the Adventure Sports DCT version of the 2022 model. The big change from the previous models and the 2024 models is that the Adventure Sports models now have a 19-inch front wheel instead of a 21-inch one. When I asked the engineers about it, they said this was a move to make the Adventure Sports model more of a street touring model and the Standard model is the more aggressive off-road machine. We had a funny moment at dinner when I was asking these questions and the engineers explained that if I preferred the taller front wheel, I should ride the Standard. And I said I still wanted a larger tank. They stopped and looked at me and said I might be the only one. Leave it in the comments if you also want that 21-inch front tire and the larger tank, and let me know if I'm the odd one out here. The 2024 Transalp is kind of a revival of the spirit of the previous generation of Transalp XL 600V, which was discontinued in 2012. It is now the XL 750 and has benefited from all of the R&D that has been put into the CB500X, now known as the NX500. I did get to ride the Transalp for this stretch from Eugene to Coos Bay so Dork on the Road could try the Africa Twin Adventure Sports DCT. I think the Transalp is a fantastic midweight adventure bike. I wish it had been out when I got my CB500X back in 2016 because I think this would have suited my needs so well at that point in time. And it's still in a good price range. If you already have a CB500X or an NX500, I don't think you really need to upgrade to the Transalp personally. The gearing felt really similar and you have a little more get up and go on the highway, but not so much more that I was ready to go trade in my CB for one. But if you don't already have a midweight adventure bike and you're looking to get into the market, I think the Transalp is more than worth the little bit more money over the NX500 for the long term. Dork on the Road also has a bunch of content around the Transalp that I will link in the description if you're interested in learning more. We made an unplanned stop here at these waterfalls because it was too beautiful not to. If there's one thing about the Pacific Northwest, it's that there are hundreds of unmarked magical places like this all over the region. And the only way to find them is to detour from the main road and take a little extra time to get where you're going. The Oregon Dunes are the largest expanses of temperate coastal sand dunes in North America, and a huge part of it is set aside for OHV recreation. Unfortunately, no one thought to set aside some sand paddle tires for us, so no playing in the dunes with oversized bikes for us. Wah, wah.
My dad's a big surfer. He used to do those solo trips.
Our last day on the road was also the highlight of the trip because we were headed for the redwoods. Dork switched back bikes with me, so I was back on the lovely Africa Twin Adventure Sport in my comfort zone, and we headed south. The southernmost part of the Oregon coast and the Samuel H. Boardman State Scenic Corridor is by far my favorite part. It never gets old. I could ride it over and over again. If you haven't been here, please do yourself a favor and schedule a trip. And then we were in the redwoods. They cover a large area of Northern California and Southern Oregon, and there are many different state parks that preserve their habitat that are all kind of conjoined into a large national park. And every time I'm here, it's so magical and peaceful, and I just want to go back over and over again. That's kind of a theme around this part of the country. I can't get enough. There's no words to convey how small you feel compared to these giants and how much it kind of places you in a larger scale of time.
Did you see them move around? Holy.
And then, just like that, it was over. We rode into Eureka to hand over the bikes to the next batch of influencers to finish the trip to Torrance. I am so grateful to have had this opportunity to not only have gotten to take extended test rides of the new models from Honda, but getting time to have real conversations with the engineers and the people responsible for the R&D of these incredible machines was an amazing honor. Not to mention getting to sit at the same table as Johnny Campbell and Ricky Brabeck, who joined us for the later half of the trip. Johnny may have also tried to convince me that I should train for the Dakar. I don't know about that. Still thinking about that one. It was an incredible experience that I will remember for a very, very long time.
It's this really good videographer I know once told me that flowing water makes an excellent transition.
Motorcyclists and dogs.